day. I am headed home after getting my classroom packed up for the summer. Yay. But we had a very scary night. So, in my town, we had tornadoes last night. The tornado siren went off at 11 p.m. My husband woke me up and said, we need to go downstairs. We need to go to the basement. I'm like, what? And I heard the siren. I'm like, oh, gosh. So, we got up and went to the basement. And when we got to the basement, my husband turned the lamp on, and immediately the lamp went out. And he goes, oh, my lamp went out. And I went, I think we just lost power. So, yeah, we lost power. And it is now 3:15. And I got a text a while ago that our power has been restored. So it was out that long. Originally, they thought it would be back on at 3:15 a.m. But hopefully it's back on now. Oh my goodness. So we were fortunate. There was no damage to our house. My husband even looked around on the roof and things. It's very common in high winds to lose shingles off your roof. Nothing was damaged on our roof. The only thing that I saw was cat dishes got blown off the deck. Big whoop, right? So, unfortunately, businesses and some homes were damaged very badly. Some completely destroyed. There are uprooted trees everywhere. There are power lines down, like laying across roads. Just a lot of mess. So, please keep our town in your prayers if you can, because a lot of people are going to have a lot of damage to deal with. And then farther down, farther east from us, even more damage in the next town over, the next bigger town, and a small town in between. So lots of homes destroyed, lots of businesses destroyed, apartment buildings, all kinds of mess. So you never know what's going to happen, do you? So I wasn't able to get a hold of Caitlin because we lost power. I didn't have my phone charged all the way. And I had been texting people, and then I lost the ability to text because we lost internet. We also lost cell service. So I had no way of contacting Caitlin. So every morning I've been texting and saying, hello, how are you? Good morning, have a good day, things like that. And this morning I wasn't able to do that. And I was able to receive a text from her that was asking us if we were okay. And I couldn't respond. And I was like, oh no, she's going to be worried sick about us. So thankfully, on my way to our meeting this morning at the middle school, I was able to have cell service partway outside of my town on the way to the town where I work. So I was able to get a hold of Caitlin, tell her everything was okay. She called her grandma. Her grandma's okay too. Grandma has a landline still. This is one of those times where it'd be good to have a landline. Probably one of the only times. But that would have been good. I've never experienced being out of cell service before. So that was new. But that was a little scary, being cut off from the world. Like I couldn't get any information. Couldn't watch the news, couldn't listen to anything. Just had no way of knowing what was going on. I didn't even know if this town had been affected. I had no idea how far the storm went. So there was no way I could have been notified if we didn't have our meeting today, because I couldn't have gotten a phone call or a text. So I just went on. I went kind of early too, which was fine. And I was glad that I did, because I had time to talk to Caitlin, let her know that everything was okay. No damage. We're all fine. Just don't have power, don't have cell service. So hopefully everything has been restored. Hopefully cell service and our power are restored when I get home in a little bit. So today was our last little district-wide meeting thing where we get together and we celebrate all the retirees and we congratulate each other on a great year. And then we went back to our building and we celebrated the people who will not be returning next year because of retirement or taking a new position, like my buddy teacher did. So we celebrated them, and then we were free to leave at 1 if we wanted, if we were done, or if we just wanted to leave, or we could stay and work in our rooms. So I was able to get checked out this morning, like paperwork and all that stuff. I got my report cards turned in, my student data forms turned in, my purchase order, my inventory, all those little things that you have to do at the end of the year to close it up. But I didn't have my room completely all packed up. So I stayed and did that, and I thought, not too bad, not too bad. We got out of our lunch/retirement party thingy about 10 after 1. So I just worked in my room for a couple hours and I was done. So not too bad at all. So much less work than last year, I gotta tell you, when I moved my entire classroom into a new room. Yeah, that's a lot of work. But I did not even touch my closet. My closet is so scary. Scary. So that's for another time. I am not in the mood to mess with that. So I will deal with that closer to the beginning of the next school year. Because, I'm going to actually just pull everything out and make piles in the middle of my floor. Before I even start to put anything back in my classroom, that's what I'm going to do. Because I need to decide what is staying and what is going, what is being donated, what is being thrown away, etc. I'm going to be kind of ruthless because I want my closet to be very organized and very useful and only have things in it that I need, not just taking up space in there. Because as I've mentioned before, I didn't know exactly what I would need for second grade. Because in first grade, I knew what to expect, but in second grade, I wasn't really sure how much time there was for things and stuff like that. Now, we do have Friday Fun Club, so like little games and stuff are good for that. So I'll keep some things like that, which I already have some of that stuff out in the classroom. But I do have some stuff in my closet that I could use for that as well. I just need to kind of pick and choose what I want to do, and I think I might change it up because, they would get bored having the same choices all the time. So that is my plan, to be super uber organized. I want to get some bins so I can sort, because some things I'll be taking home for sure, and some things I will probably give to people if they want them, and some things will be trash, some things will stay. So that is my goal for later in the summer. But today this girl's goal is to go home and have power and relax, because I did not sleep well at all last night. I woke up like every 2 hours. We went to bed early last night even, and the tornado sirens went off at 11, went downstairs. We stayed down there until the storm was over for us, which was probably about 11:30, I'd say. 11:30, quarter to 12. Back upstairs, went to bed, woke up every couple hours because I was just uneasy and there were storm things going on, and my husband could not wear his CPAP machine, that helps him breathe better. So he was loud while he was sleeping, and that woke me up. The cats were kind of out of sorts a little bit. Onyx had her time all mixed up. She started jumping at the door around 5 this morning. And I fell asleep last night before I was able to plug my phone in. Of course, of all nights, right? So my phone was not very charged when the power went out. I was like, crud. So I did put it on battery saver mode, which helped. But it's still like, really, why? Why tonight of all nights, right? But it worked out fine. And when I got to school today, I plugged my phone in. I also plugged my phone in the car so I could have some charge for that. So I brought some things home. We are going to be turning in our old MacBooks and getting new MacBooks, which I'm actually keeping my MacBook, but we needed to we need to bring it so they can wipe it. The MacBook, the charger, and the neoprene case that we got. And I was like, oh crud. I did get one of those cases, but I didn't use it very long before I got a customized one on Amazon. I was like the first one to get one of those, and then that kind of became a thing. So I'm like, oh my gosh, where did I put that? Because I was thinking of where it was in my old room. And I'm like, oh, I think it's in the closet. I'm like, oh my gosh. I thought, okay, right before I left today, I'm like, okay, I am going to see if I can find it, because maybe it's right toward the front. Because I remembered putting it on a shelf. I thought if it's on a shelf toward the front of the closet, I might be able to get to it. So I was able to find it. It was on like the third shelf, right by the door. I'm like, oh my gosh, thank you. Otherwise I would have been like, it's in my closet. I can't get to it right now. I wasn't going to pull everything out of my closet looking for that silly thing. That would have been terrible. But thankfully I didn't have to. It was right there by the door. Yay. I'm like, is that it? I think I see a little black zipper. Oh, there it is. And I was able to get it out without knocking things down or hurting myself or anything. So, woo. So I grabbed my iPad and my charger, and I grabbed the charger from school for my MacBook and the neoprene case that I got with it. So I can return all the things that belong to the school. Yay. Very happy about that. I need to back up my computer, like I really, really do, this week coming up. Because next Friday is the day that I turn it in, so they can wipe it, give it back to me, and it's mine because I'm paying for it out of my paycheck. They just take a certain amount out of your payroll each month until it's paid for. And I think I may give it to Caitlin to use, so she can use the computer. Yeah. And I don't know what the new one was going to be like. I don't know if this case will fit it or not. I'm kind of thinking not. I think they always change the size or something. Not necessarily, I suppose, but we'll see which one it is. So, I'll have to be customizing my case again and getting a new outer case too. I'll get a hard shell for it with the little silicone keyboard thingy cover. And I'll probably end up getting a new zippy case unless it fits in this one. But we'll see. I don't know. Don't know what it's going to be. You don't necessarily realize exactly how much stuff you have until you have to move it all. And I didn't even have to move it. I just had to stack it up on things that could be easily moved out of my classroom. I did leave just a couple things on my counter that will be easy to move. I have a bin full of stuff that's my desktop stuff and some of the smaller things that were kind of laying around on the top of my bookshelf things. My plants got taken down, watered, and put on the window ledge, and I opened the blinds so they can get sun. Some of them aren't looking too hot because my gardener left and hadn't been in my room for a while, so some of them may not survive, but we'll see. I did not have any way to bring them home today, so I thought I'd just leave them there. I was telling them that I think my power is back on because I got a notification that it was, but it's possible that it's not on. I'm hoping that it's right. So they're like, oh yeah, that storm. I'm like, yeah. Well, they were talking about the other town that got hit. And I said, oh yeah, this town got hit too. And they're like, oh no. I'm like, our house is fine. We didn't have any problems at all. Because we're outside of town in the country a little bit. But farther down the gravel road from us, a farm got hit. So it's weird. I just kept thinking of the movie Twister with Helen Hunt. Remember that? She's like, you've never seen it. Miss this house and hit this house and come for you. I'm like, it's totally like that. It's like it picks and chooses what it wants to devour. It's really weird. The next door neighbor, their house could be destroyed and your house could be completely spared. You just never know. And then sometimes an entire neighborhood is just obliterated. Yeah. My buddy teacher, her church got hit really bad. So mostly it was from debris. That does a lot of damage too, just like when the tornado hits. So she was saying that their pavilion or something outside their church that's on the side of the church, exploded, and all of that debris hit the church and blew out the windows and broke the doors and all kinds of stuff like that. Well, I must have been in a fog when I drove through town. I wouldn't have seen that church. But people were telling me that McDonald's roof was damaged, the grocery store's roof was damaged, the park was damaged, and I'm just like, I didn't see any of that. But you know what? I was really tired and I was concentrating on the traffic because with no power comes no traffic lights. And that's a 4-way intersection. And that's where Caitlin got hit when those traffic lights were working. So I was being super, super careful. So I wasn't paying attention to the surroundings other than the cars. And people were being good. We treated it like a 4-way stop. Everybody was very polite. Nobody jumped in front of anyone else. It was really nice. So thankfully people were being very careful and very respectful and very kind to each other this morning at 7 o'clock. Because we'd all been through this awful storm. So I'm thankful for that. I need to go to the post office because I got a notification that there's something kind of mail waiting for me. So I may look around a little bit. But we'll just have to see what we can see. There's a lot of traffic right now. Goodness. This is an odd time of day for all this traffic. But it is Memorial Day weekend coming up, so maybe people are starting early. I don't know. Oh, when I was talking to Caitlin this morning, I was telling her about the damage and stuff, and I said I didn't see stuff, but people were telling me about it. And I was listening to the radio. And she said, oh, well, I don't know if I'm going to be able to come tomorrow then. And I was like, why? I was like, well, I'll let you know if we have power, because honestly, if we don't have power, she would not enjoy coming home. Maybe we can go see her instead. But I said, well, hopefully we'll have power by then. And she goes, oh, I'm worried about the road. What if I can't get through the road? I'm like, oh, your road is fine. It didn't even touch your road. Like, she's toward Kansas City from us, so she's not anywhere near where the storm hit. And I was talking to somebody earlier today, and they said, oh, there's supposed to be another storm coming through, and it's supposed to be going through Kansas City. I'm like, well, she's in an apartment with no basement. I don't know if there's like a storm shelter around there on campus, so I probably should text her and say, you might want to think of a place that you can go that would be safe, because if you have a bad storm like we do, it could blow your apartment apart, and that would not be good. You don't want to be in there when that happens. So, I heard on the radio this morning when I was listening to the reports about the damage, they were saying, if you're looking for someone, call in and we'll try to get information from that area for you. And some lady had called in about her 25-year-old daughter that lives in a group home in another town, and she was not able to get a hold of anyone. And she wondered if anyone had any information because she was terribly worried about her. So a lady called in right away and said that she lives in that town, it's a very small town. She had not heard anything, but she was sure that if anything was wrong, she would have heard. Probably they're out of power, and that's why she can't get through on the phone. But, that would be scary. I mean, I understand that. Like, my daughter's not in a group home. She's, on her own, though, and I'm not anywhere near her. And she's never been away during a bad storm. So, yikes. Okay, well, I'm going to go run to the post office and kind of look around the town and see what's up. I don't see anything on this side of town. I think this side of town's okay. I heard that a car dealership got hit really bad, like destroyed it, like every single car. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Now I'm sure they have insurance because you have to, but just the sheer amount of damage that these storms can create is just mind-boggling. And it's very humbling that nature can do that. Like, you have no control over that. So I'm just feeling very thankful and very blessed today that we were spared, and that our family and friends were spared too, as far as we know. Some of our friends probably had some damage to their homes, but no fatalities as far as I know. Okay, I'm at the post office and it looks kind of barren, so I'm going to see if they're even open. If nothing else, I can check my P.O. box, so I'll keep you posted. Hello, update. So I got to see a little bit of the storm damage. There are some roofs that have been ripped open, but I think up here is where the most damage happened. The stoplights are still out, which is strange, but what are you gonna do, right? It's a little congested here, so I'm gonna have to be really careful. Okay. I had a hard time getting turned to go to the post office because this turn lane was completely full of people turning left going the other direction, and it's supposed to be both directions. So I had to wait for that line of traffic to clear. I just went around the block. But then when I went to turn in, somebody was trying to turn in from way down. I'm like, no, don't go in there yet. It's not your turn. It's for the other side of the street. Crazy. So I had heard the McDonald's roof was damaged, but I don't see anything from here. But it's not open. So they must have gotten some kind of damage. Casey's does not look open either. This is weird. It's like a ghost town, except there are people driving around. But yeah, there's like nobody around. It's weird. Like business-wise, like none of the businesses are open. Dollar General's closed. Casey's is closed. I thought the post office was closed, but I looked in and the lights were on. But it's very weird. This place that has flowers and things looks okay. They seem all right. Like, it's so weird how a storm hits. I saw a ton of trees in the park that had just been knocked over. Like, you could see the middle of the tree. Wow. The playground equipment looked okay. I think the pavilion roof was damaged slightly, but the rest of the park looked intact. There was a building, I don't know if it was a house or a business, that was near the park that had some damage, and people were clearing away debris. But other than that, I didn't really see a lot. But I didn't go down onto the streets that I knew had a lot of damage, because I'm sure, for one thing, they're probably blocked off, and for another thing, I don't want to get in the way of the cleaning up. There's no reason to do that. If I go on one of our local news channels, then I could probably see some pictures of the damage without having to intrude upon it. Yeah. really see anything down here. Such a strange day. So I'm headed home hoping that we have power. Apparently that end of town doesn't have power yet. Otherwise, I think the businesses would be open. Yikes. There's a teacher that lives like across the highway from me that she was affected the same as we were. No power, no cell phone, and her battery was dead in her phone. I was like, well, it wouldn't have done you any good anyway because there was no service of any kind. So, but her property's fine. She doesn't have any damage either, which is good. When I went out to feed the kitties, I was missing one little yellow boy. So I need to see if he's around now when I get home. When I feed them for their evening meal, I'm hoping they all come around because all of the other ones that were there were just missing one little baby. So we shall see. Maybe he was just off doodling around somewhere else. They do wander off and they come back later. So maybe he came back and ate later. But it always makes me, wow, this is very bumpy. It always makes me worry when one of my babies is not home to eat their food. I always look for them and call for them. Sometimes they come and sometimes they don't. So today he didn't. All right, let's see if there's any mail in the mailbox. Then I'll head home and see if there's power. Wish me luck. Well, we have power because my garage door is going up. Yay! I'm happy. I was so bummed when we didn't have power this morning. I seriously, you know what I thought about? You know how stupid this is? I thought about how tomorrow my whole plan was to be a couch potato and watch Netflix. Yep. I was bummed about that. And then I realized, crud, our refrigerator and freezer will have no power. Eep. So my husband had planned to hook that up to the generator, but now he doesn't have to. So yay, I'm home. We have power. Hopefully we have cell service. Everything's right with the world. I'm going to go in and relax. See you later.